Here are the facts we know. We know the Trump team was spied on. The question I discussed on Friday's show, which did enormous numbers, the key takeaway, and why I think Page and the other deep staters may be panicking, is not that the Trump campaign was spied on. We know that. That's a fact. You call it whatever you want. Informant, undocumented informant, some stupid euphemism. I'm not interested. The Trump team was spied on, period, full stop, end of story. Thanks for playing. The only question right now is, did you pay for it? Now, don't worry. I'm not going to redo Friday's show, which addressed this very topic. But I do want to reintroduce this topic because a counterpoint on Twitter has been reintroduced by a couple of very smart people. A guy I cited on Friday, Stephen McIntyre, who's at Climate Audit on Twitter, does great work on this. I know we had a little friction there for a moment, but this happens. It's fine. People can have sensible disagreements. And Svetlana Lakova, who I'm going to line up for an interview on the show. I just have a couple things I got to get out of the way first. And don't worry, the Kill Meat interview's coming soon. We did that on Friday. We will launch it today or tomorrow. We're just we just got to produce it. It just takes a little bit. We didn't forget about it. But Svetlana Lakova and Stephen McIntyre have an alternate view of some other conclusions on this. Remember, keep in mind your headline. Did we pay for this? Halper, I believe, Stefan Halper, the spy who spied on the Trump team, I believe may have had significant input into the dossier. Halper was paid by the Office of Net Assessments and the DOD. Now, let's walk through this because when I get to Svetlana Lakova and at Climate Audit, Stephen McIntyre's conclusions about why that could be deep trouble and what else is going on here, you're going to see how the Democrats have painted themselves in the corner. Remember the question we're talking about? Not that the Trump campaign team was spied on. They were spied on. Right. Were your tax dollars used to pay for it? Let's go to photo number 1 first. This is from Svetlana Lakova's excellent thread, which I have on my Twitter feed as well. You can check it out. She posts this photo from the Grassley letter. Chuck Grassley, a Republican senator, she posts the top of this. On January 16th of 2019, sent a letter over to the Inspector General in the Department of Defense asking this question about, remember we're talking about money paid to Halper who spied on a Trump team. Did you finance this disaster? He says, Inspector General, fine. This is Grassley, Republican senator. I'm writing to you to request a review of the allegations that the DOD Office of Net Assessment contracts were used to support partisan, political, or other improper or wasteful activities. Oh, here we go. So Chuck Grassley, Republican senator, who his entire career has been focused on government malfeasance and potential law enforcement abuses. He's been all over this stuff. Anybody who knows him knows that. Sends a letter in January of this year, Joe, to the DOD, asking him about some payments in Office of Net Assessment, their Office of Net Assessment, that may have been for, quote, what is this here? What do we have here? Partisan political activities? Joe, let me ask you, you think Grassley just made that up, just wrote that letter? He's like, hey, he's sitting around eating some leftover turkey on an everything bagel, a little mayo and adobo. Oh, no, sorry, that was me. On a weekend, and he's sitting there going, what am I going to do in January? Oh, January, I got nothing to do on the weekend. There's no movies playing. Let me just write a letter to the Department of Defense about payments from the Office of Net Assessment that paid the spy who spied on the Trump team for partisan political activities. That's what he's looking into. You think he just made that up because it was just some random chance and he was bored on a weekend?
I think he's probably had that in mind for, a while.
I would say producer Joe is right.
Fairly deeply.
Fine investigative analysis, Joe. You are the MacGyver of executive producers. Well done. Of course Grassley knows what's going on. Yes. What did I tell you on Friday? ONA and DOD paid Halper. If Halper contributed to the dossier and the dossier was used to spy on Trump, you paid your taxes, the DOD took your taxes, paid the Office of Net Assessments, who paid Stefan Halper, who then in turn may have fed information to Steele, who put it in a dossier to spy on Donald Trump, and you paid for it. Right back to the top of the stupid ladder.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud, and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.